When your car gets damaged, it's not just a repair, it's the stress, the surprise, and the what do I do now moment. That's why choosing the right shop matters. At Traphouse Automotive in Edmonton, your vehicle isn't just getting fixed. It is in the best possible hands. Hi, everybody. Thanks for joining us. I'm here today with Chris from Traphouse Automotive. How are you doing today?
Good, thanks.
Excellent. I understand that the rain is putting a little bit of a damper on your shop move.
Yep, still kind of working through it.
Well, hopefully the rain will eventually let up. I'm pretty sure that if we get any more rain, someone's going to start building an ark.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
Excellent. So I have a bunch of questions about the Autobody services at Traphouse Automotive. And my first question is, can anybody who needs an insurance claim use your shop?
Yep. You have the right to use any shop you want in Alberta, so you don't have to go to the insurance preferred body shop.
Oh, that's great to know. So you can, even if your insurance company says you need to go to this place, you don't have to do that.
Yeah, so they have a couple shops on a list of, it's called DRP, which is like a direct repair plan or a program. And they might be offering, those shops might be offering insurance like a kickback or reduced rates, preferred rates. Maybe they're not charging storage. There could be a couple things that they've agreed on. So they're kind of giving insurance a deal in hopes to have some work kind of steered their way.
Right.
Some of these DRP shops, there's always going to be great people working there. People who take pride in their work, but there's obviously some that don't. And sometimes shops get a little overwhelmed with the amount of work they might get, so it kind of turns into this big hurry, get this done right away kind of mess they might find themselves in, where they almost feel like they're not in control of their shop anymore in some cases.
Okay.
So it kind of becomes a quantity over quality thing. So I'm not saying that they're all bad, but some of them are just maybe not getting the time they need to repair your vehicle or feeling a little rushed.
Right.
So that might bring down the quality of work. So you can do your research and go wherever you like, although insurance will kind of steer you away from that, saying, oh, we can't guarantee this shop's work, about warranty and stuff, but most shops are going to carry a warranty anyway. So it shouldn't be a concern, but you still have to do your research, of course.
Excellent. So when someone has insurance work, is that something that they should mention upfront with any auto body shop?
Yeah, if they're coming in for an insurance claim, just because you got to take pictures a certain way, everything has to be recorded a certain way. It can't just be a visual, like, okay, I see this and this is broken. Insurance just needs to see what you're doing, because I think the fraud is probably very rampant out there. So that you just need to be able to prove everything you're doing and why you're doing it, versus if the customer's in front of you, you're just kind of talking your way through it and write down what it is on the estimate.
Right. Versus
insurance, if they haven't seen it themselves, they just need you to prove what you're doing.
Good to know. How long will my repair take?
It big time depends on the repair. A lot of it can get hung up on parts availability. So usually we'll try to order the parts ahead of time. And so when you're booked in, the parts will be there already. And then it's a lot easier to kind of tell how long repair will take if you're not having to wait on certain things.
Right.
But we should be able to get you a ballpark on figuring out how long it'll take.
Excellent. And if it ends up taking longer, you're great at communication.
Yeah, just gotta let everybody know where you're at during the repair and why, all that.
Excellent. And I know you said something earlier in the day while we were talking that even a small job may not be a fast job. And you'll explain that to the client when they come in.
Yes. So sometimes what would appear small might require a whole lot more work than anticipated, but we should be able to still figure out how many days a repair that would take. But we'd walk you through what we're doing and why we're doing it.
Perfect. Another question is, can you match the factory color of my car?
Yeah, so that's probably the one of the hardest parts of Autobody is trying to figure out how to match color, because it's there's a lot of colors out there that have you guys kind of get a list of the color, like the tinters that make up that color, and sometimes it's not even close. So you can spend a lot of time. That's really what separates the the painter from the applicators is what you see online is painter versus applicator. So when it's time to do painter stuff, that can be really difficult, but we're always trying our best to get as close as we can. And that also would come down to people with tight timelines is if it comes out of the booth and I don't like it, I don't want to have to be like, well, it has to go today. I'd rather be like, we're redoing this. We need a little more time. So that's a big thing when it comes down to everyone always being in a hurry is like, I don't want to be in the position where I don't like it, but I have to, so.
Right. And if you don't like it, chances are the client is not going to like it as well.
Right. So I'd rather cut that off at the pass rather than the customer coming and seeing it and not liking it and then leaving it anyways versus me being like, I didn't like it. I need your car for an extra day and there's no guns to head and all that kind of thing. Right?
Mm-hmm.
So,
again, I think it comes down to communication as well.
Yeah. Trying to let people know that you're having a bad time and we're working on it. We're just not there yet.
Right. I'm sure a client would rather hear, hey, we didn't get your paint to match. We're going to take a little bit extra time than come pick up your car and fingers crossed that they don't notice.
Yeah. I hate the reactive response where, well, let's see how it goes. We'll fix it if they don't like it. Is rather just like, I'd rather just skip that part. Right. So.
And you've talked a lot about how you like to deliver results that you're proud of all of the time. And if you don't like it, then you don't want to deliver it.
Right. Because the thing is in the car community, some of these guys might have been working on their cars a long time. Maybe they're doing their own mechanical work. They're doing their own detail work. And they're just not comfortable with doing their own paint work. So we could be the first time these people have ever given their car to someone else to work on. So you got to think like they have, they probably they would want to do it themselves, but they don't trust themselves. And now they're trusting you. So that's like a big thing to keep in mind is like, we are the first people to have these person's vehicle like away from them and working on. We're the only ones that have ever worked on them that wasn't them. So you have to keep that in mind that this is like, it's not necessarily stressful. It's an honor.
Mm-hmm.
It's just something you have to keep in mind when working on these cars is
right.
This is a really big deal to some people. So even if it is every day for me, you have to remember that this is a big deal for a lot of people.
Right. You're in a position of high trust.
Very.
Excellent.
Yeah.
And is it something that you swear at when a car company comes out with a new color of the year and you're like, now we have to learn a different color match?
Yeah, and some, not all the time, but some of these colors are real expensive. Like these tri-stage reds.
Really?
The material cost is incredible. And so it's kind of like, oh, why are you bringing me this? Or like there's certain colors that are definitely harder to work on.
Yeah.
That like make the repair more invisible. So that's all stuff you have to kind of talk the customer through.
Excellent. And again, the communication. And if the customer knows like, hey, your car has a tough paint match, then at least they understand.
Yeah.
Great. Is your Autobody work guaranteed?
Yeah, we carry warranty on all the work we're doing. I think we had talked about this earlier where rust would be the only time that we'd have to have a talk about warranty because we're not re-engineering the car. So it should last at least as long as factory did. But, rock chips also is kind of a way of the beast, of course, too, of driving a vehicle down the road in Alberta. So there are some gray areas, I suppose, but overall, we're warranting the work we do.
Perfect. If you can't guarantee it, you don't want to do it.
Pretty much, yeah. So if somebody's like, oh, I just need a quick fix, something cheap because I'm trying to sell the car, there are options for sure that can be quick and cheap. But if it comes down to maybe hiding something to, fool the next guy, we're just screwing the next guy. And you don't want to be that person that got screwed on a new vehicle purchase. So I'm just really not interested in doing that, screwing the next guy.
And I think that's why you're so highly respected in the industry, because you won't do that.
Yeah, I suppose. There's like I said, there's a lot of good guys out there that carry the same mantra, I suppose, of not wanting to. It's just chasing money over people. I don't love it.
Right. I like that. That's a really good attitude to have. Will Autobody shops fix dents, scratches and bumper damage.
Yep, I would say that's what we do the most. Just clean up stuff. Something, a lot of cosmetic, like rock chips and door dings and bumpers. Sometimes bumpers getting replaced depending on the damage.
Mm-hmm.
So that might be a more common, it comes down to a labor versus cost thing.
Right.
But overall, yes, yeah, we do all that stuff.
Excellent. And if someone needs a whole new bumper, that's something that you can do?
Yeah, we can supply it if we can find it. Maybe you're trying to do something aftermarket. We might need a little more help finding stuff like that. But if it comes down to stock stuff and the parts are available, yeah, that's pretty straightforward.
Excellent. People spend a lot of money on their cars and they just always want their car to look as nice as possible.
Yeah, a lot of just general cleanup stuff we do all the time.
Fantastic. And what about after the repair? Is my vehicle going to look the same after the repair than it did before?
Yeah, well, I mean, hopefully it looks repaired and not still damaged. And that can be a big thing with insurance companies too, is they are, almost to a fault of pre-accident condition. So if you had some scratches in other places, there's a chance they're not getting fixed, but we can always figure that out too. Because like an example would be, say you needed a new headlight and you have a vehicle, like you got hit in the front end, you got a new bumper, new headlight, maybe fix the fender kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Say it's 10 years or older. If we replace a headlight, we like to polish the other one just so it doesn't look like you got a really nice one on one side and a hazy one, so that people would see that something's happened here.
Right.
So that's just like one kind of little thing that we do. Or maybe the grill is like technically a separate part of the bumper, but it all kind of looks like one part, but it's all rock chipped. Well, we should probably, paint the grill at the same time as the bumper just to make everything kind of blend in. That's kind of the normal stuff that maybe people don't even know we're doing. And I think that's kind of the point is, why couldn't you have, painted the grill while you're there? Well, if I'm looking at it and I thought the same, that's something that we're just going to do because it just finishes off the job a little better. We don't have to have this conversation about that stuff.
Nice. When you do your job, sometimes it looks like you have done nothing at all.
That's the goal a lot of the time, yeah.
I love that. Great. And how do I book an appointment if I have damage, I've been in an accident, and I need my car dealt with? How do I do that?
A phone call and email is usually the best because you can phone me. We can talk out kind of what you got going on, and then you can email me some pictures just because text, I can, pictures and text messages can get lost in the chaos of the day. Instagram, I can kind of lose sometimes too. Email, I usually am on top of the best. And I can see the pictures and I'm at the shop and I can look at it and write you an estimate versus if it's after hours and I'm getting a message on Instagram, for example, depending on what you have, it might be hard for me to figure out what it's going to cost and why it's going to cost that way. But emails, I'm sitting at my desk answering. So
perfect.
I know that I can write an estimate for you.
I love that. And pictures are an important part of that?
Yeah. So a lot of the time, if it's something pretty straightforward, it's easy enough to see it in pictures and do an estimate through pictures, which again might be a little controversial because maybe you're missing something, which can happen. But if I see something, I might need you to come by anyway, so it's not a surefire. You're saving a trip.
Right.
But I'll see if I can save you a trip in too. And like another thing is through pictures is sometimes people just have like a scuff, like they rubbed up against a post. They got a lot of yellow on their bumper or something. A lot of the time, if you come by, I might be able to just wipe that off and you're like good enough. And I'm like, oh, see you next time, basically. So pictures aren't always the best, but on general kind of cleanup stuff, I can usually get an estimate figured out in pictures. But when you swing by, we can look over what you need. So
perfect. And what are your shop hours?
Well, technically 9 to 5, Monday to Friday, but I'm always there a little earlier and I'm always there a lot later. So if you're stuck working till 5, you can't come by till 5:30. If I know you're coming, I know I'll be there.
I love that. Well, thank you so much for sitting down with me. I continue to learn enormous amounts of vehicles and how to fix them. So thanks so much, Chris.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks.
All right. See you on the next one.